let's hit the field.
It is Tuesday, May 27th, and the Yankees were taking on the Angels in Game 2 of a 3-game set. Carlos Rodon trying to stay unbeaten in his last 8 starts. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Wow. Devin Williams. If I had any hair left, it would be turning gray. Wow. Anyway, Yankees win 3-2 out here on the West Coast, and they have now taken 7 series in a row. They are 14 games over 500, and they are rolling. That got a little bit hairy there. They're 7 games up on the Rays in the American League East, and they are threatening to run and hide. Now, we'll see how it shakes out this weekend against the Dodgers. Dodgers are kind of light on pitching right now. But if the Yankees can keep this going, they got a chance to build, a 9 or 10 game lead, and it's very difficult for teams to come back against that. So we had another home run tonight from Ben Rice. We had an outstanding performance by Carlos Rodon 2.0. Even Oswald Peraza went deep tonight, but we almost flushed it. Devin Williams in there to try and close it out, and proving that no matter how well he throws the ball in, the 7th or 8th inning, he just can't be trusted in the 9th inning. He just can't be. I mean, that was probably by necessity that they had to go to him today, but I can't imagine they're going to do that, too often. The Angels did practically nothing offensively all night, and then they were all over him. They were just all over Devin Williams. 3 hits and 2 runs in the 9th inning, but he does pick up the save. And Captain Johnny Bravo says, Rodon with the heat. And that was the story tonight. Let's get to the recap. I'm going to keep this rather short. I've got an early morning.
All right, let's go.
12:30 in the East. 12:26. So both teams were very quiet early in the game. 4th inning, Ben Rice gave the Yankees the lead with an absolute nuke into the right field seats. Home run number 11 for him on the year. It was a hanging changeup, kind of the inside part of the plate, and he just pulled his hands in and destroyed it. 108.1 off the bat, 423 feet. I'm just in love with his swing. I mean, the guy's just got a beautiful, compact swing. I hope he continues to get at bats when Stanton comes back. I know he's slowed down a little bit lately, but we're going to find out soon how Aaron Boone plans to deal with this, because they want to give Stanton at bats, but Rice just continues to clobber the baseball. 11 home runs. I mean, it's not even June. And we're going to talk about the pace that guys are on a little bit later. He's on pace for over 30 home runs. Right? How do you take him out of the lineup? Carlos Rodon was tremendous today. He made an acrobatic play and threw across his body to get the runner to end the 4th inning. And he was just positively cruising tonight. He went 7 innings. We'll talk about him in just a minute. 6th inning, great hustle by Cody Bellinger. He smoked one to center field. Should have been caught, but, he never slowed down. He kept that long stride. Center fielder didn't get there. It got ruled an error. I thought it should have been a triple, but he made it all the way to third base, and then Volpe singled him in to make it 2-0. Volpe has not really gotten red hot since the opening weekend, but he still might drive in 100 runs this year. Continues to quietly compile some production. Peraza went deep in the 7th, a hard line drive to center field. Good to see him do something positive with the bat. Outstanding diving catch in the 7th by Trent Grisham in center field. That was huge because Rodon was at 93 pitches. You don't want him to have to work from the stretch right there and maybe let the Angels back in the game or get knocked out of the game. And he ended up being able to finish the inning. I thought it was a great mound visit from Aaron Boone to kind of give him a breather and let him finish the inning. Easy peasy for Jonathan Loaisiga tonight. In the 8th inning, he's got a 1.69 ERA since coming back, and the stuff is still phenomenal. I mean, he looks like he hasn't missed any time at all. And then, Devin Williams came in for the 9th inning, immediately served up the home run to Yoan Moncada. He was getting rocked, but nice plays by Volpe and LeMahieu at second base. Volpe went into the hole, made a great stop, made a quick throw to second base. LeMahieu had to stretch, but he kept his toe on the bag. the Angels, challenge, but they came up short, and Devin Williams was able to get the last out. Logan O'Hoppe swinging at the 3-0 pitch and popping it up. And the Yankees take game 2 and win another series.
Yankees win. Yankees win.
Surprised to see over 820 people in the chat here at 12:30 in the morning. You guys are the true diehards, so round of applause for you guys. Jeffrey Vogel says he never wants to see Devin Williams in the 9th inning. Again, your words, I'm sure, are felt by most Yankees fans right now. I mean, you just can't pitch him in the 9th inning. I'm fine. 7th, 8th inning, 3-4 run lead. You need some outs. I feel comfortable with him in that situation. But 9th inning, just cannot do it. Cannot do it. Waleed Ahmed says Rodon is starting to earn his big salary, and Brand says Rodon for the belt, so why wait? Carlos Rodon. And ladies and gentlemen, looking at the belt leaderboard, we now have a tie atop the leaderboard. Fried and Rodon, the two big lefties, stepping up in Garrett Cole's absence, both with 5 belts. Judge with 4.5. He split one with Rice early on. Grisham with 3, Dominguez with 3, Rice 2.5, Warren 2, and then a bunch of other guys with 1. But Carlos Rodon was tremendous today. Let's go ahead and get to the pitcher spotlight. All right, so
Pitcher spotlight.
7 shutty is what pitchers will call that. His Yankee redemption story just continues to get more and more poetic, man. And he was brilliant again, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Pounding the strike zone, he was creating soft contact, and he was getting a ton of swings and misses. He had 21 whiffs tonight. He had 105 pitches, 69 strikes. He made that great defensive play. He took a little bow. I thought that was fun. And I guess the back is feeling okay these days. I mean, a couple years ago, he wouldn't even attempted to get that. We talked about how rare it is for a guy to come to New York and struggle out of the gate and then actually recover instead of unraveling. But that's exactly what he has done. And tonight, he didn't just recover, he dominated. 7 shutout innings. And, we shouldn't overlook the context. If he goes 4 1/3 tonight, the bullpen is screwed and the Yankees lose this game. I guarantee it. But we needed length, we needed quality, and Rodon delivered both. Not just a solid outing, that was an ace-like performance from Carlos Rodon. I got to update his picture, but I haven't seen one with a beard yet, so we'll update that when I see it. But his ERA for the season now down to 2.60. The WHIP is 0.94. When you start a game with an ERA of 2.88 and a WHIP of 0.96, to make it go down, you got to pitch pretty well, and he did. And JD says, imagine if we had Garrett Cole in this mix. I mean, that's the tough thing about baseball, man. There's injuries every year. You're always missing somebody. And, to lose Garrett Cole when we have this kind of pitching from Fried and Rodon, there's a lot of pressure on those guys to step up in his absence, and they're doing it. But if we had all 3 healthy, my goodness, we would be just absolutely filthy. Speaking of health, let's talk about Jazz Chisholm. Sounds like he is returning in just a couple of days. Look, he was really struggling when he got hurt. His average was 181. He did have 7 home runs. Most of those were early on in the season. I hope that the time off has kind of cleared his head a little bit and that he comes out of the gate feeling good. You may remember that we had a caller who pointed out that on the swing after he hurt himself, he ripped a line drive into the corner, ended up being a double or a triple. And that could have been a product of just not swinging so hard because the injury kind of limited him. And I sincerely hope that when he comes back to the lineup, he loses some of that all or nothing approach. I love Jazz as a second baseman. I think he moves around really well. I think he's got a great arm, helps on the double play. But I don't think home runs are his game. It'll be interesting to see if they move him back to third base, too, with the way that DJ has been playing. Now, DJ 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts tonight, hitting 206, but I don't think anybody would say that he looks as bad as he did last year. I mean, he's definitely had better swings. He's had better bat speed. But, every lineup, every successful lineup, in my opinion, has to have some table setters. Guys who drive in runs and guys who get on base and score those runs. Jazz, to me, is one of those guys who should get on first base, steal second, maybe distract the pitcher, cause him to make a mistake, and then score on the base hit or whatever. Maybe steal third. You know, he's one of those guys that could be a nuisance and a disruption on the base paths. But he's got it in his mind that he's a 30 or 40 home run guy. Well, you know what? You just missed, a month? You're not going to hit 40 home runs this year. How about focusing on having a great, productive rest of your season? You know, line drives, get on base, do your thing on the bases. We don't need you to supply the power. This team has plenty of power. But, you know, I would rather see him get on base a couple of times than go 1 for 5 with a solo home run. That's just kind of my 2 cents. Anyway, I'm glad we'll have him back, but it sounds like it'll be next week before we get him back. All right, so let's talk about the players' pace so far. A lot of guys on pace for some pretty solid numbers. Now, forgive my math. I did this before the game. A little bit of work involved. So some of it might be out of date, because Rice went deep. But Anthony Volpe on pace for 83 runs, 49 doubles, 18 home runs, and 95 RBIs, and that probably ticked up a little bit today after that big hit. Paul Goldschmidt on pace for over 200 hits. Now, I predicted he would have 2 hits tonight. That was one of my Derek predictions.
I've never been so wrong in my whole life.
But still hitting 343 with an 889 OPS, on pace for 15 homers, 83 RBIs, and 110 runs scored. You'll sign up for all of that. Aaron Judge, just bonkers pace right now. 247 hits, 55 home runs, 144 ribbies. He's behind Shohei in the home run pace right now. Shohei has 20, probably getting pitched to a little bit more than Judge is. But, I think that Judge will eventually catch and pass him. I was hoping Judge would be the first to 20, but no such luck. Ben Rice on pace for 34 home runs, 71 ribbies, 92 runs scored. Cody Bellinger having a nice, solid bounce-back season. On pace for 24 homers, 97 ribbies. He's driving in a ton of runs, 85 runs scored. And then Jason Dominguez, solid rookie year. I know he's only hitting 237, but he's on pace for 18 home runs, 73 ribbies, 79 runs, and 18 stolen bases. So very easily could get to 2020 with a slight increase in production as he becomes more comfortable in the league. So, that's where we're at. We got a lot of guys putting together solid seasons. And as we look at the standings, Yankees 34-20. They lead the American League East by 7 games now. They're the only team above 500 in the American League East. The Rays 27-27. Tigers are really good. They lead the Central. They got the best record in the American League. They're 36-20. Tariq Skubal's the best pitcher in baseball. He's just phenomenal. And then the Mariners leading out west, but the Astros coming up behind them. All right, so let's get a quick word from our sponsor. Then we'll be back with a few quick comments to finish off the night after a good Yankees.
The weather is warming up, and with that being said, you need to check out what Rhoback is bringing to the table. If you're a golfer, especially, and you're looking for golf shirts that just have the perfect style and also are soft, they're lightweight, and perfect for the summertime, Rhoback is the spot. Of course, FT's hooking you up with a code for 20% off at rhoback.com. That's FOUL on RHOBACK.com for 20% off all shorts, hoodies, polos, and more.
Oh, let me get rid of the Terrence cam because he's not with us tonight. He's still with us. He's just not on the show tonight. He didn't die or anything. So what's the Yankees' pace for the season in terms of wins? So right now their winning percentage is .630. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 162 times .63, and that gives us 102 win pace for the year. Hey, I don't think any of us expected 102 wins. So either they're going to vastly overperform the projections, which was like 89.5 after Garrett Cole got hurt, or they're due, kind of a fallback, kind of a slump at some point. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. Val in NY says Dodgers are lucky they're not facing our best pitchers. Yeah, I truly believe that Rodon and Fried would carve through that lineup. I think Fried might be pitching. Isn't Fried pitching on Friday? Let's go ahead and see if the pitching matchups are up yet. So we got tomorrow. Let's see. Tomorrow we've got Clark Schmidt versus Yusei Kikuchi. And then Friday, it looks like To be determined on both ends. That should be Max Fried. I don't know who's pitching for the Dodgers, but I'm going to do a Dodgers series preview on Thursday with Clint Pasillas of Dodgers Territory, and we'll work through all of the things that we're looking forward to in this series. Guys, I am just absolutely exhausted tonight. But Itchy Nuts says Dodgers are lucky. They're a powerful team no matter who pitches. Yeah, it's going to be a tough series, man. And I want the Yankees to exact some measure of revenge, win 2 out of 3, and kind of say, hey, we meet again in October. It's not going to be a repeat of last time. Trevor Cass says, what do the Yanks do with Rice when Stanton comes back? Teach Rice third. They're not going to move Rice to third base in the middle of the season. They're just not going to do it. As much as some of us would like him to learn, that's not the type of move you make mid-season. Especially with the left-handed pitchers that the Yankees got. You get so many plays at third base. They're going to just leave Peraza over there and hope he hits. And if he doesn't hit by the trade deadline, they'll go get somebody. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they're going to probably platoon Stanton and Rice to a degree. Stanton will get some at-bats against righties. I don't think Rice will get nearly as many at-bats against lefties. I think Rice will get some at-bats at catcher. I think that Rice will get some at-bats at first base. I think Rice will get some at-bats at DH. Trent Grisham has slowed down a little bit with the power. So, maybe, you don't need to have the outfield log jam as much. You can play Bellinger in center. You can play Dominguez in left. And then you can, kind of platoon the DH situation. We'll see how it works out. But it's going to be fun either way because the Yankees need a right-handed bat. And Stanton has got that power, baby. TJ says he can see Jazz at third. I think there's a good chance that Jazz does go back to third if LeMahieu continues to look good at second base. And then Adrian Alvarez says we're going to destroy the Dodgers. Let's not get too cocky here. They're still the world champs and they're still really good. JB says swap JC for Rice. Well, you want Rice to get at bats. JC doesn't get any at bats. Very rarely does he play. I think he's only got about 10 hits this year or something like that. I'm curious to see how it's going to shake out. This is a true, it's like a quarterback controversy when you got a couple of good quarterbacks. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a night. It's almost 1 a.m. here, and I've got an early morning at work, so I will be up and at it right out of the gate tomorrow, which means I got to get to bed. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time. Hey, while I've got you here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Pinstripe Territory is the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We are home to the #1 most watched MLB postgame show on YouTube since 2021. We're here after every Yankees game and for reactions to all the best news and rumors during the offseason. Be a part of the show by calling into the voicemail 718-899-1068. Try to keep it clean for me. And if you ever miss us on YouTube, be sure and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars. It'll help other people find the show. Thanks for watching. See ya.